Hey, you, thanks for pressing play. If you're watching me on YouTube, what's up? If you listen to this on audio, what's up? Today, we are going to have a real conversation. It's going to be a kind of long conversation, but it's going to be a real conversation. And since you press play, I know that it's a much needed conversation for your life. And as always, this is a safe space, man. Like my channel, my pages, podcasts, whatever I do, it's always a safe space. I'm not on here to act like some expert. I'm not on here to act like I'm perfect. I'm here to show you that I'm human. And I'm going to talk about some things today that really humanizes myself. I know a lot of these creators, a lot of people, a lot of speakers, they want you to think that they're experts, like they don't go through anything. That's a robot. You don't need a robot. You need a human so we can connect. And so this is a real place. And all that I ask is that you just be real with yourself, because you can't heal if you're not being real with yourself. Like what you don't face, you will never fix. So it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay that way. So yes, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to push you outside your comfort zone because I want to help take your life to the next level. You're here because you're probably feeling overwhelmed in your life right now. You press play because the title, I know why you're here. You're probably feeling stressed out, or maybe you're like me right now, where you feel like you're in a season of a lot. It's like, when can I catch a break, God? Gosh, like, can I give a break? A lot of you have a lot of titles that you're wearing. Title of mom, title of dad, title of friend, maybe title of boss, title of etc. And you're wearing all these titles, which number one is incredible because it just shows how incredible you are as a human being. So give yourself some credit for that. But I know it can be heavy. I know it can be stressful. Right now, I'm going to just tell you my season. I'm in a season of moving. Like we're having a pack. You already know how crazy that's going to be. I am dreading it. I'm a last minute person. We haven't even started packing yet. Well, at least I haven't. We got a pack. If you're watching me, this is like one of the last few episodes in this office space, in this studio. We're moving. Also, I have an event that's coming up. Also, I'm recording the audiobook for Protect Your Peace. Also, I'm traveling and speaking. Also, I'm being dad. Also, etc. I'm being, a CEO. There's so many things going on in my life. And I got to be real with you. I'm like, I just need to take a break. But at the same time, when I'm going through things like this, I want to share with you the process that I put myself through. And it's a simple 5-step process. You know me, I'm not going to be complicated. I'm just going to give you that real. I'm not going to try to sound like some scholar, somebody that has a PhD in something. I'm just going to give you that real. And the process that I go through when I'm in seasons like this. And the first thing is I give myself some grace. So I want to tell you right now, give yourself some grace and understand you're doing a damn good job. I know a lot of people won't tell you that. I know you might not get the thank yous and I appreciate yous from people around you. But I want to tell you right now, you are doing a damn good job. All the things that you juggling, you should be in Vegas at a circus with all the things you juggling and handling it like a straight G. I know you're tired right now. I know you're burnt out right now. I know you're overwhelmed right now, a little bit stressed right now, but you got to give yourself some grace and say, it's okay. All the titles you are wearing, all the responsibilities you are carrying, and I get it. To much is given, much is required. And right now in your life, it's requiring a lot of sacrifice. Maybe you're losing sleep, which I would tell you, don't make that a lifestyle. Please get your rest. I'm not the guy that says team no sleep. That's all cap. Those are people that really don't work hard. They're telling you that. You might have seasons where you lose some sleep, but you got to rest. Rest is the most important thing to your success. The thing that most people don't talk about. Rest is when you heal. Rest is when you reset. Rest gives you energy. But maybe in that season right now where it's hard for you to rest. Maybe you're having to go to sleep late, like I'm having to do right now, recording this podcast late at night. Maybe having to wake up early just to give yourself some time because you have so many things that you have to do throughout your day. I want to just tell you and remind you, I have to remind myself of this today. I looked in the mirror and said, Trent, bro, you are doing a damn good job. Right now, you're being hard on yourself. You're critiquing yourself. And I get it. Like, I love to hold myself accountable. That's why I've always told you it all starts with you. But at some point, you got to realize sometimes you critique yourself way too harshly. I get being real with yourself, but a part of being real with yourself is actually understanding the big picture. And I said, bro, you are doing a damn good job. A lot of people, if they were in your position, they would have folded. A lot of people, if they were in your position, they would have had an anxiety attack, a panic attack. And look at you handling all this like a G. Look at you making sure everybody's straight. Look at you making some certain sacrifices. And so I had to sit with myself today. And I had to tell myself that. And I want to tell you, you are doing a damn good job. And most people, if they were in your shoes, if they were in your position, they wouldn't be able to handle it. They wouldn't be able to take it. And so let that bring some confidence to your spirit, right? Let that bring some confidence to your heart to say, wait a minute, like I know I feel like I feel right now, but despite my feelings, like the fact of it is like, I'm really handling my business. I'm really doing the thing. There's some people out there, and we're going to move into number 2 right quick. Like there's some people out there that are taking the easy route. They're not pushing themselves. They're not taking honor and pride in all the titles that they wear. There's people out there that's shortcutting it, and you ain't, right? You giving your all to every single area of your life. Mom, you giving your all to every single area in your life. Dad, friend, employee, boss, coach, all the titles that you wear. Mentor, some of you therapists, to everybody around you, taking care of everybody. And you give your all to every area of your life. So I want you to give yourself some grace. I want you to give yourself some credit. And to move on to number 2, I want you to give yourself a reframe. Okay, when I mean give yourself a reframe, I want you to stop looking at the season that you're in as a bad thing. I want you to look at the season that you're in as a good thing, because you're growing. And it's the thing that people don't tell you about growth. Everybody says grow, go hard. And people don't tell you that if you're going to grow 100%, you are going to experience some growing pains in your life. Growth is impossible without growing pains. So if you're stressed a little bit, that's a sign of growing pains, especially when you're pushing yourself, when you're expanding yourself, when you're demanding more of yourself. Like you're doing. If you're uncomfortable, it's probably because you're going through some growing pains. That's what growing pains look like. I remember when I was a little kid, I would go through the growing pains. I'm like, oh, this hurts. My dad said, good, you're growing. Within the next few months, I would have grew 2 inches or 3 inches at the time. And I said, I want to get taller. I want to grow. But my dad said, hey, that's what you prayed for. So if you pray for growth, you're going to have to go through some growing pains. And that's the season that me and you are in right now. So I had to give myself a reframe and say, wait a minute, bro. Number 1, you're doing a damn good job. Number 2, it's also a privilege to feel what you're feeling. And I know a lot of us like, wait a minute, Trent, a privilege to feel what I'm feeling, to feel stressed out, to feel like I'm burnt out? It's a privilege. I always say pressure, adversity, challenge. You got to shift your perspective and understand that that's a privilege, right? If you're doing the damn thing, what you're doing the damn thing in all these areas of your life where most people take shortcuts, where most people fall off, where most people quit and retreat, and you still standing tall, even when your back's against the wall, you haven't fold, you didn't break, you ain't running away, you facing it head on, whatever it is. Even when you're tired, even when you're stressed out, you're still there standing tall. That right there is privilege. You're in a position to feel what you feel because you're doing what you do. When people ask me like, isn't it hard to have all these responsibilities? And I say, yeah, it's hard. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, it's a blessing. Like, what's the alternative? Not being a good dad? What's the alternative? Not being a good leader? What's the alternative? Just sitting around expecting life just to go my way without putting any effort and any intention to my life? What's the alternative? So yeah, I'm in a part of my journey right now. What's the alternative? Not moving? Like all the things that I'm feeling right now aren't because it's a curse or it's something that's devastating to my life. It's a blessing. And I've always told you guys this, like, blessings don't always come in the most beautiful packages. Some of us want our blessings to come like so beautifully wrapped and everything's great. Your biggest blessings sometimes come from your most stressful seasons. Your biggest blessings sometimes come from your biggest disappointments. Your strongest faith is often built during your hardest times. So you got to give yourself a reframe. You got to say, what is this season actually teaching me? How am I growing in this season? Now, I'm not telling you to stay in the same, pace that you're in, because we'll talk about this in a few minutes, because maybe the pace isn't something that you can keep up with, right? Maybe this is a sign to say, hey, let's take a break. Hey, let's reevaluate what we're doing right here. Hey, and we'll talk about some things here in a minute that I feel it's like some questions you should be asking yourself. But at the same time, you are privileged to be able to feel what you feel. You're privileged to be able to feel what you feel. And I want to read something real quick. I'm going to find it on my phone, so give me a quick second. But I'm going to read this. I actually posted this on my Facebook, and I saw this quote, and I thought this quote was such a beautiful, amazing quote that I feel like a lot of us should really take into heart. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Give me a quick second. Where is it at? Boom, 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 boom. Here it goes right here. So this quote said, my grandpa once said, your terrible job is the dream of the unemployed. Now, this is Reframe 101. Your terrible job is the dream of the unemployed. Your house is the dream of the homeless. Your smile is the dream of the depressed. Your health is the dream of the ill. And check this out, don't let difficult times make you forget your blessing, right? Don't let difficult times make you forget your blessings. Don't let all the reasons why you stress make you forget why you blessed. And so if you just sit for a moment and give yourself a reframe, is what I call it, right? As I would say, shift your perspective into your power and take it away from your prison. But when you give yourself a reframe and you just sit and breathe and you realize, yeah, I'm going through a lot, but I would rather have a lot on my plate than nothing on my plate. Yeah, I got a lot of responsibility, but I'd rather have a lot of responsibility than no responsibility. Man, I'm going through a lot of growing pains. I would rather have a lot of growing pains than have no growing pains at all, because that means I'm not growing at all. So right now in your life, after we spend time together today, I want you to sit for 10, 15 minutes and just start reframing every situation. Everything you're seeing as a negative, how can you make it a positive? Because I already told you at the beginning of this episode, beginning of this conversation, like, you're doing a damn good job. Like, you have the responsibility of all these titles. People are dependent on you, leaning on you. Now, you can't just have people lean on you forever, because that's how you get burned out. Even a light loses its power at some point if it stays turned on. It has to recharge. But at the same time, if you're a go-to person, that's a privilege. At the same time, if people are dependent on you, that's a privilege. At the same time, if you're wearing all these titles with honor, that's a privilege. And I know it's a lot for you. And I know sometimes you'll be like, man, can I just take a break? Which brings me to point number 3. Give yourself a break. It's okay to take a break. I know in this rat race of life where everybody's telling you don't take a break, team no sleep, 24/7, 365, I grind, hustle hard. I understand that lingo. I get it. It sounds sexy, right? And we should push ourselves. We should push ourselves past our limits, because usually we're living in our limitations. We should push ourselves to the edge, because when we get to the edge, we're going to realize that we have another level inside of us. I am all for that. But you know what I'm also all for? Giving yourself a break. Give your soul a break. Give your mind a break. Some of you have been turned on for too long. No wonder why you don't have any more power. You haven't took time to replenish your spirit. You haven't took time to refresh your soul. You haven't took time to ignite your passion. You haven't took time to refocus on your mission. You're giving yourself no time because you're in the day to day, right? You're in the day to day. You're in the day to day. And even though you're moving forward, it's still becoming mundane, because it's the same thing every single day, right? The same process every single day. And even though that process has worked, sometimes you got to switch it up. Sometimes you got to give your routine a curveball. Sometimes you got to give yourself a break. This weekend, I gave myself a break and I didn't feel guilty for it. I gave myself a break. And it's hard sometimes to give us breaks because we feel like we're falling behind. You feel guilty because you feel like you're letting someone down. And I want to give you a reframe right now. If you don't take a break, you're going to let people down because you're going to be tired and burnt out. You're going to have anxiety and panic attacks. You're going to be super stressed out and feel depression, have no energy. You're going to start feeling cursed with the blessings. You're going to start having resentment because you feel like nobody understands you. Nobody wants to help you because you feel like you're doing so much more than everybody else. You're going to let them down, and also you're going to let yourself down. So you got to be able to say, you know what? I'm taking a break. Some of you need a week. Some of you need a month, but at least give yourself 24 hours and nothing is falling behind. You got to be able to trust yourself. And I used to be in that same boat where it's like, man, I can't take a break because if I take a break, then we're not going to hit our certain markers. We're not going to hit our goals. And I was just chasing. We don't chase. You've been chasing for far too long. This world has convinced you and lied to you and told you that you need to chase. Chase this, chase your goals, chase your dreams, chase money, chase this, chase this. And if you don't chase it, then you're going to lose your position. You're going to lose out. You're going to miss out. That's a scarcity mindset. That's a scarcity mindset. That's not an abundant mindset. That's a mindset that lives in panic. We're never controlled by panic because we live in peace. We don't have the chasing spirit. We don't have the chasing mentality. What we are is magnets. And when you become the magnet, you can read this and Protect Your Peace. I talk about it so clearly in that book. When you become the magnet and you magnetize abundance and you magnetize peace and you magnetize greatness, when you become the magnet, you're not afraid to give yourself a break. You don't have FOMO. Some of us think FOMO is just not going out with the friends. But some of us have social media FOMO. Some of us have keeping up with the people we're comparing our life to FOMO. Some of us, we have people-pleasing FOMO. Can I talk about it? Right? We want to show people that we're doing it so much. When we post, we want to make sure everybody knows what we're doing, and every single move that we make, we want to let people know, no, I'm still leveling up because Some of you are still living your life to prove. What you got to prove to anybody, right? What you got to prove to people? And I'm not just speaking to you. I've been in that boat too. Where I'm like, oh, I ain't doing it for nobody. But then I realized I was living parts of my life to prove that I'm a hard worker, to prove that I'm the man, to prove that I'm legendary. And I realized that when you truly are one with yourself, when you truly are the magnet, you don't live life to prove because you already know. So I'm not afraid to give myself a break. I'm not afraid to let people down. I'm not afraid to not please somebody. I'm not afraid for somebody to call me lazy because I took a weekend off. And I know there's people out there that was going to tell you that if you take a day off, you're lazy. I understand that. And maybe they're right. But for you, I don't think that's the recipe for your life because you're here with me right now. And you're in a place right now where you've probably been applying that principle to your life and it's made you feel guilty. And so you're moving forward through life with a half-ass effort, excuse my French. You're not even giving your all. And a great reframe right now is I would rather you take a break, refresh, replenish, recharge, reignite, refocus. I would rather you do that and come back and give 100% than never take a break and give 25% of yourself. I mean, who's going to make the greater impact over time? It's not rocket science. So make a grown, mature decision to say, I need a break. Because without a break, you're not able to stop and analyze. Because maybe you are carrying too much responsibility in a certain area of your life. Let's be real. Maybe you are. Maybe you are giving too much of your energy to this area of your life. And me taking my break, I realized some things. I'm saying, oh, no wonder. Like, I'm giving way too much over here. Let me reel that back. But if you're always on go mode, if you're always on go, 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 how can you ever assess? How can you ever realize, like, what you need to change? And maybe it's nothing you need to change. Maybe you just need a break. But you have to be willing to give yourself that. You have to be willing to give yourself permission and say, you know what? I'm putting my life on do not disturb. The phone's on do not disturb. My life is on do not disturb. And I'm going to do something this weekend, today, this week, that's going to fuel my soul. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just chilling. Maybe it's sleeping. Maybe it's going to do things with your kids. I don't know. Whatever reignites your soul, right? Whatever you need to give to your soul to replenish your spirit, whatever that is. But you need to be able to give yourself a break, and it's okay. You got to trust yourself more to know that you're not missing out. Even NASCARs take pit stops, right? Even NASCAR drivers take pit stops. Sometimes you got to fill up and stop for gas. Number 3, give yourself a break. Number 4, the fourth thing that was very hard for me to do, and I know for a lot of you, probably yourself, it's very hard for you to do because most of us, we don't want to seem weak. Most of us, we want to act like we have it all together. Most of us, we don't want to bother other people. Number 4, give yourself some help. I get it. I believe I'm one of the most self-reliant people that I know. I understand that. But I do not believe life is meant for you to do alone. Now, there's times in the journey that you got to go alone. There's times in the journey that nobody else will understand. There's times in the journey where you have to go down that path only you can go down. But I want to tell you right now, three of the strongest words that you ever could say. And I'm glad that we're in a generation, we're in a time now where people are starting to understand this, because at one point it was considered weak. At one point it was considered not being a man. But 3 of the strongest words that could ever come from your mouth is I need help. It's okay to ask for help. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's brilliant to ask for help, especially when you ask those that can help you. I'm not just trying to tell you to cry out on social media, and maybe that is that for you. But when you're strategic about who you ask for help, when you sit there during your break, you think about, man, who can give me some guidance here? Because this is not, I promise you, like, you're not reinventing the wheel with being burnt out. I can guarantee you there's somebody that's in your life that's been in your shoes. You're not the first person to wear the shoes. This time of your life that you're in is not just uniquely for you. So if I'm you, I'm thinking about who could I ask that could help me in this situation? And some of you are here with me right now. This is your help. As a person that understands you, as a person that gets you, as a person that has been in your shoes, I'm sure, because you clicked on this title. Maybe this is you asking for help. And that's dope. That's cool. I love it. I appreciate it. But you can also find somebody in your life or find some people to say, you know what? I need some help right here. And maybe the help is just advice, right? Maybe the help is some guidance, or maybe the help is somebody that can take some things off of your plate. So I made the call to some people in my life, say, hey, I'm in a busy season right now. I'm having to move. You know, I got kids. I got all these, I'm traveling, I'm speaking. I'm doing all these things right now in my life. I need some help. Hey, I need you to do this. And you know what's wild is that when you have the right people in your life, you know what I mean? When you have the right people in your life, and hopefully you got the right people in your life. If not, make sure you go watch all the content, because you can find something about having the right people in your life somewhere on my page for sure. But when you have the right people in your life, people that really want you to win, people that truly understand you, people that respect you, people that admire you, when you have the right people in your life, let me tell you something. They are more than willing to help you. There's somebody right now in your life, I'm sure there's somebody in your life right now, I hope, that's waiting on you to ask them for help. They've been wanting to help you because they see how much value you provide to everybody else. They see how you show up for everybody else. They see how you take care of everybody else. They see how you show up in your life, and it's an honor for them to help you. So when I made these calls and I made these texts, I got texts right back. All caps, I got you. You need help moving? I got you. You need me to take this off your plate? I got you. You need me to handle these things? I got you. And what's even more wild is like, I have people in my life that's so special, they already know before I even ask. And that's the type of people that we need in our life, if we're being honest. And I'm not going to get into that today, but those are the types of people we need around us, people that will help us, will offer their help without even us asking for the help yet, right? They can just see it on you. So some of these people in my life, they already were giving me help. They said, hey, I don't care if you ask for it or not. I know the season that you're in. I know what you're dealing with. And so I want to help you. I want to take something off your plate. So give yourself some help, please. Like, reach out to somebody today. Let go of the pride. Let go of the ego. Let go of the judgment. It doesn't mean that you're not strong. It doesn't mean that you don't have things figured out. It doesn't mean that you ain't legendary. What it means is that you have so much self-awareness, which is beautiful, which is so attractive. You have so much self-awareness that you know when to ask for help. You know when to give the assist to somebody else, because you have so much self-awareness. You know yourself so much that you're not afraid to ask for help, because you know that taking this responsibility, taking this situation, taking this work, etc., off of your plate, out of your hands, by you delegating to somebody else, it gives yourself some more space. It releases some stress. It gives you some more time during this season. You can always take the responsibility back. But if you're carrying a lot right now and you're not going to let it down because you got pride, because you don't want people to think that you're weak, and I'm going to just say this right now. Some of y'all might disagree with me with this, but I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest weakness is not being quote unquote weak. The greatest weakness is not having weak moments. That's called the human experience. There's not a soul that you follow. I don't care if the person running a gazillion miles and telling you to keep running and they never stop. I promise you this, every single soul that you've encountered in this life has weak moments. Now, some people get through those weak moments. Some people overcome those weak moments. But the truth is, every single human being, that person you're comparing your life to, that mom that you see out there that's crushing it on social media, that looks like they have it all together, that's making up the bed and having all the stuff ready for the kids and going to the perfect life, right? The dad out there that's crushing it on the social. And maybe they are, maybe they're not, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I do know this, they got weak moments. So I don't believe that the greatest weakness is having weak moments. I think the greatest weakness in a human being, you listening to me, I think the greatest weakness as a human being is admitting that you don't have any. I think the greatest weakness is saying that you don't have weak moments, because you want people, that's a form of people pleasing, by the way, but you want people to think that you're this person that has it all together. And can we just talk about how backwards that is? Like, having it all together doesn't mean everything is perfect. That's not real. That's a facade. That's a filter. That's not real. When somebody says, oh, they have it all together. No, what they have is they probably got some support. They probably got some self-awareness. They're not afraid to ask for help. Or if they're not doing any of those things, what they have together is a perfectly filtered life, AKA fake. They smiling for the camera, but dying behind the scenes. But to me, the person that has it all together is the person that is able to do what we have been talking about today. It's the person that is able to give themselves some grace. So even when they're going through a frantic pace of life and everything is just going 1,000 miles per hour, they give themselves grace. I should be feeling like this right now. I have a lot on my plate. I should be feeling like this right now. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just going through a season of a lot, right? They give themselves grace. That's a part of having it all together. They give themselves a reframe by saying, like, I'm blessed. So you get around them and they just seem so stressless, right? They don't feel stressful. Be like, man, you are going through a lot right now. How aren't you having stress? It's not that stress isn't present in their life. They just giving a reframe. They just realize, like, I'm pretty blessed to be in this position. I'm pretty blessed to be able to have to take care of all these kids, to be able to be a CEO, to be able to move to a new house, to be able to travel and speak, to be able to have a platform where I got to show up. I'm pretty blessed because the alternative could be way worse, right? That's having it all together. Having it all together is a person that's giving themselves breaks, not afraid to live that D&D lifestyle, do not disturb, not afraid to kick their feet up, not afraid to go on the vacation and totally disconnect. Not afraid to miss out, not afraid to shut down, not afraid to shut out, right? That's the person that has it all together because they have so much self-awareness. It's incredible. Like, I admire those people. I admire the people that can literally go on a vacation in the middle of a season that's busy and not feel guilty for it because they know what their soul needs. You see, a lot of people that's giving you advice, they don't know what your soul needs. They talking all that stuff that sounds good, that's telling you, like, that sounds sexy about you're going to miss out and you better work hard this quarter and da-da-da. And I get that because I work extremely hard. But I tell you right now, I listen to my soul. And my soul says rest. If my soul says vacay, I'm somewhere kicking my feet up, taking my break because this is a marathon. This ain't no just sprint 100-meter race. This ain't no sprint. This is a marathon. When I got into this space, and this is a great reframe that I had a conversation with myself the other night. I said, Trent, you got into this space to run a marathon, bro. This ain't no sprint. This is a marathon. So you're going to need a break. You're going to need to slow down your pace. It's okay if you take a vacation because I reminded myself when I got into this space, I didn't get into this space to be a trend. I didn't get into this space to do something short term. I didn't get into this space to be a professional hopper. What's a professional hopper? Hopping from one thing to the next. No disrespect to people that do that. So maybe you're just trying to figure out what you want to be in this life. I get that. But some of us, we're professional hoppers because things don't work out in our timeline, so we quit and go to the next thing. I didn't get into this space to be a professional hopper. I got into this space to finish. I got into this space to be legendary. I got into this space to create greatness. I got into this space to shift and change lives. I got into this space to do it forever. I signed a contract with my heart and with my soul that says, I am in this forever. To the day that I tap out, you will hear me speaking life into this world. You will hear me breathing life. I might have my times where I take a break. I might have my times where I go on a little vacation. I might have my times where the intensity ain't as high, but I promise you this, I will not throw in the towel because this is a marathon. So sometimes I'm going to be at a faster pace. Sometimes it's going to look like a sprint. Sometimes it's going to look like conquering everything. But sometimes it's going to look like a break. Sometimes it's going to look like a reset. Sometimes it's going to look like a refresh. Sometimes it's going to look like delete and start over, start new. Sometimes it might look like that because this is a marathon. And some of us, and maybe this is true for you, you have so much frantic and anxiety in your life and so much unnecessary pressure is because you're putting these influence timelines on your life. I know we talk about the C word a lot, comparison, but comparison is killing so many dreams, is killing so many spirits. It's robbing us of our peace so much because we have these invisible timelines. These influence timelines, what I mean by influence timelines is that we look out or we allow somebody that isn't a part of our life, doesn't know our soul, doesn't know anything about us, tell us that we should be doing this at this age, that we should be here. And understand, like, it's okay to have measurements and progression check marks, but some of us, we're giving our life unfair timelines. I saw this video of a houseless man, and y'all probably seen this, the houseless man, I'm paraphrasing this. He was talking to people in the car. He said, everybody's in a hurry to get somewhere, just to get there and realize that it's nothing that they ever needed, or they're going to be unhappy when they get there. And it touched my heart. It's one of the most viral videos. I've seen it everywhere. I'm sure you've seen it too. But that guy was just saying, like, why are we in a rush to get somewhere fast? Where are we trying to get to? It doesn't mean have procrastination. It doesn't mean that you don't give your all to something. I'm not preaching laziness in this episode, in this conversation. What I'm telling you is, like, what are you trying to get to so fast? Because I think that's where the unfair judgment starts to happen on us. We start to look out and compare. And like I said, we see the mom that's doing everything. We see the dad that's doing everything. We see this person that's doing everything. We see the business owner that's doing everything. We're like, man, I should be like them. No, you're meant to be you. Your race is yours. This marathon is yours. Can't nobody run your marathon but you. Can't nobody run your marathon but you. But when we start to run someone else's race and we get out of pace, that's when we start to fall flat on our face. That's when we start to put our life in a place of stress, a place of worry, a place of fear, a place of I'm missing out, a place of anxiety, a place of panic because you're trying to keep up with somebody else. You're looking at their stopwatch of life and you allowing their stopwatch of life to control how you move. You trying to keep up with them when keeping up with them, even if you're successful at that, is mission impossible because their race is not yours. Only you can run your marathon. And the more you become comfortable in your marathon, the more you love your marathon, the more you fall in love with it. And knowing that I'm going to have times where I feel like like I feel today, Trent. That's why I'm here. I'm going to have times where I feel like, man, this is a lot. I'm going to have times of this uphill run, this uphill journey. I'm in a season right now of uphill. Lord, the incline is high. I'm running uphill. But I have faith and I know that in this marathon, the hill doesn't last. It's gonna come a plateau at some point. Then I'm gonna have a downhill where things just are flowing right. I feel good. I look good. Everything's in sync. Then you know what? I'm gonna come across another hill. And every hill I come across, it's meant for me to run. It's meant for me to climb. Every mountain in your life that has found you is meant for you to climb, not complain about. Every mountain that has found your life, you're in a mountain right now. And some of us, we haven't used the reframe to realize this mountain is strengthening us. This mountain is actually preparing us. This mountain is actually positioning us for our next mountain that we have to climb. And the more, and I know this is being a runner, the more I run hills, the easier the next hill is. Not because the hill is any steeper or the incline is less. It's because I'm able to handle the hill, because I have strengthened my mind. But I'm loyal to my marathon. And I don't let anybody else control my marathon. I don't let anybody else tell me how fast I should be running. Now I have coaches that I trust that say, hey man, you're being lazy, pick up the pace. I have trusted counsel in my life that lets me know, hey man, you're falling off here. Trusted counsel, trusted coaches that know me, that understand me, that study me, that's been around me, that I admire, that I look up to, that I trust. But outside of that, I don't allow anybody else to control my pace, because even in my coaches in my life, if I'm telling them, hey, this is the fastest I can run, they respect that. They're not trying to get me out of pace because they understand that this is a marathon. They understand that we are doing something forever. We're not here to be a come and go. This ain't no quickie, excuse my French. We ain't trying to get no quickies in our dreams. We're not trying to quickies in our vision. We ain't trying to be in and out, right? We're trying to last. We're trying to be strong in this, right? We're trying to continue to progress in this marathon of life. So that's why I'm telling you, where you're at right now, it's okay. It's okay. You're in a new season. Maybe you just had a new kid. Every kid that we had in my life, in my family, I've had to adjust every single time, because it's different when you have one kid. And for y'all that got kids, you know this. It's different when you have two kids. It's different when you have three kids. It's different when your kids are in different grades. It's different when you change in age, right? Some of us, we're expecting our race to stay the same. It's like, so why do I feel like this? Like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but you got to realize your environment around you could be changing. The terrain around you could be changing. You might not even realize it. So you could have been running on a flat road for so long, but as you add things to your life, as you do more things, just life happens, the terrain changes. And as a runner, you can tell I'm back to running because I love talking about this analogy. But as a runner, I realize that when the terrain changes, that same pace feels a little bit harder, right? A little bit uneven, a little bit rocky, but I can still run my pace because I know in my race that, you know what, I'll get back to that flat terrain. When I get back to that flat terrain, I'm going to be in a little bit better shape. I know how to handle it. So I want to just tell you that, man, because some of you are literally trying to sprint your way out of it, trying to, like, you're panicking. Chill. Relax, bro. Relax. Chill. It's okay. It's okay, sis. It's okay. Chill. Take a deep breath. Take your break and relax. Reanalyze, refocus, and then get back to your race when you're ready. Number 5. I got one more for you. Number 5, give yourself some energy. Now, I know this might seem very obvious, but without energy, we have nothing. You know, one of my rules of protecting your peace is protect your energy. And that's a question I want to ask you. How have you been protecting your energy? Have you been setting boundaries in your life? Sticking to those boundaries, making people respect those boundaries, you respecting your own boundaries. Have you been doing that, or have you been disrespecting your boundaries by letting people disrespect your boundaries? Remember, boundaries aren't a wall to keep things out. They're bridges that let the right things in. So maybe you need to give yourself some boundaries. Give your life some boundaries. Give your dream, your mission some boundaries. Because the more we allow our boundaries to be disrespected, the less energy we're going to have. When we have less energy, what's coming in the near future is burnout, stress, is probably the reason why you're here and we're having this conversation. Or when I say give yourself some energy, it's about disconnecting often, right? Disconnect. Told you to take a break, but disconnect, get out in nature, get out into your energy fields, your energy environments, the things that change your frequency. And I'm not trying to be all deep here, but we're energy human beings. Like, change your frequency. You know what I mean? Get your coconut water. I got some right here. Get your coconut water, get out in nature. Get some sunlight, get some vitamin D in your life, right? Get some vitamin E, good energy in your life. Get around good people. Sometimes it takes a shift in frequency to get you back to where you need to be, right? To get you back refocused, to reset your mind, to get you back in the right perspective. You know, so I had to go spend time in nature this Friday. I spent 90 minutes in nature. I ran, I walked, I relaxed, I was still drinking my coconut water, and I felt better. Nothing changed, by the way. No circumstance changed. Nothing. No circumstance changed, but I felt better. How does that work? It's because I put myself in a high energy environment. And so what I want you to do right now tactically is I want you to write down 3 high energy environments, maybe just one. Maybe 3 is too much for you right now. I understand that. 1 to 3, or let's just 1. Let's start there. I want you to write down one high energy environment that brings you energy. I'm in a high energy environment right now. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm in a high energy. My office space is high energy. When I walk in here, I feel impact. When I walk in here, I feel purpose. When I walk in here, I feel alive, no matter what time it is. I think it's 12 a.m. right now. No matter what time it is, it's a high energy environment. I'm protective over the energy that comes in this environment. I don't allow low vibrations, low frequencies in here. Like if I know a person that's coming to my house that have low frequency, they ain't coming in here. You can say, Trent, that is way too much of the extreme. Maybe it is, but I'm gonna have to be extreme with my energy because without energy, we have nothing. And some of us, our energy is so low because we have ourselves in low energy environments. And some of us, we can't escape those low energy environments. I get it. So that's why it's important right now to write down a high energy environment in your life. And all that is a fancy way to say it's a place that I go to where my energy is shifted to greater. My energy is shifted to extreme happiness, extreme peace, extreme joy, right? Extreme calm, extreme passion, right? I want to make sure it's positive, right? A positive high energy environment. For me, it is nature. When I walk out in nature, everything changes for me. And that's what you want. Even when your situations don't change, because the last thing to change is your situation. Some of us, we so obsessed with changing our circumstances, and that's very hard to do. That takes time. And so you want to be able to get in environments that change your mindset towards those circumstances, AKA what we talked about so much today, a reframe. To be like, you know what? It really ain't that bad. I'm putting some unnecessary pressure on myself. And so I sat with myself today and thought about, man, I'm just moving. That's it. I know the anxiety of having to pack in boxes, but like, that really ain't that bad. I'm getting to speak, travel the world. That's really not that bad. I'm having all these responsibilities with my kids. That's definitely not that bad. That's great. Now, when you add that all up, it can seem like a lot, but really, it's a beautiful a lot. It's a pleasure to have that a lot. It's a privilege to have that a lot. That's what nature, that high energy environment, brought to me and brought to my conscious and brought to my mind and became very clear to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm actually making this worse than what it actually is. Bro, you are blessed to have all this in your life. And I would like to say, without having a conversation with you, and excuse me, I'm judging you unfairly, but I want to tell you, you are blessed to have all that in your life because I know it's working for you. I know it's shifting you higher. I know it's building you. I know it's adding to your power. And so the high energy environment doesn't change my circumstances. It shifts my conscious into positive. It shifts my conscious into the power perspective. That's why it's very, very important that you spend time writing down that environment. And I know for most of you, because only 8% of people actually do things and stick to things, and hopefully you're a part of that 8%, but application creates transformation. Try it out because some of us just think we're going to think our way into change. Thought is great. I do believe thought is great, but thought doesn't create. It's the first step of creation, but it doesn't create. It initiates creation, but it doesn't create. I know some people say as a man thinking, I get that. It's the start of creation, but I don't believe it actually creates. What creates is the action. And so what I need you to do is get that high energy environment, write it down, and spend every day this week in that high energy environment. Do that for me. I'm going to say nature because nature always has high energy. Nature has life. Nature has the smell. Nature touches all the senses. That's why it's one of the most underrated, best place that you can go to for healing. Nature is God's natural medicine for the soul. I've been saying that since 2009. I'll stand by that. Nature is the great prescription for your life. Go out there, do a trail run if you're in shape. Go hike, go walk, go sit, go release, go whatever it is. It is a great prescription for what you are dealing with. It's a great prescription to stress. It's a great prescription to anxiety. It's a great prescription to a lot in your life, what we've been talking about. I think if I had a conversation with God, and excuse me, God, for I don't know if you would say this or not, but I believe you will. I believe we had a conversation with God and we asked God, I'm sick right now with stress. I believe he said, okay, here's your prescription. And I believe it'll be nature. I really do. Because nature truly heals. It heals the body, it heals the soul, it heals the mind, it heals the perspective. And I believe that it will heal your situation. But you got to put yourself in these high energy environments and take yourself out of low energy environments as best as you can. Because when you put yourself in high energy environments, and I'll say this before I move on, when you put yourself in high energy environments, what happens is, even when you get back to the low energy environments, your mindset is different when you get back there. So those low energy environments can't really control your energy. It's almost like a protective barrier that comes around your life, that when low energy stuff, low frequency stuff, it can't even penetrate your life. It can't penetrate your soul. It can't penetrate your mindset. Because like you equipped yourself, you armored yourself in these high energy environments. It could be a walk outside, but get yourself some vitamin D, aka some vitamin E in your life, okay? Some vitamin energy in your life, the right energy. So as we wrap up today, this conversation, I just want to challenge you and remind you of a few things, right? Number one, give yourself some freaking grace. It's okay. It ain't nothing wrong with you. Don't overthink it. Don't make something wrong with you when it's nothing wrong with you. Don't make something out of nothing. You know, people will say, don't make something, you're making something out of nothing. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to undermine what you're going through, of course, but it's okay. It's expected, right? It's who you are. Every hero needs a break. Every superhero needs a break at some point. Okay, so give yourself some grace. Number two, give yourself a reframe. Remember, reframe. Your perspective is everything. So any negative thought, reframe it and just sit back and think about how blessed you truly are. How blessed you are. Even though you stressed in your blessings, you still blessed. You still blessed because there's people out there that will be dying. Remember the quote that I read? They'll be dying to be in your shoes. The things that you're complaining about are often the same things people are praying for. And that's wild to think about, but it's true. Like I'm complaining about moving. There's somebody out there that would love to be able to move into a house. So even thinking about that, it shuts me up and gets me back into appreciation. And when I'm in appreciation, it releases the stress. Great medicine for your mindset, great medicine for your soul. Appreciation, it's free. A free prescription that the doctor can't give you that can help your life. Appreciation and gratitude, AG. And even thinking about that right now, I'm a little less stressed because I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Like packing boxes, moving? There's somebody that wishes they can just have a house, right? Number three, give yourself a break. We talked about not being afraid to press pause. We talked about this being your marathon. It's yours. It's nobody else's. Let them judge you. Oh, well, it's your marathon. If they feel like you ain't moving the right way, whatever, it's not your coach, why you listen to somebody who ain't your coach? Somebody ain't spent time with you. Somebody don't understand you. That's the problem. A lot of us, we listen to people in these stands and these bleachers, or we let all these outside influences, noise, people on social media that don't even know us, strangers, control our marathon. They ain't spent no time with you. They don't understand your pace. They don't understand what you've been through, what you grew through. They don't understand none of that. You allowing them to control you. Come on now. Come on now. Number four, get yourself some help. Give yourself some help. Give yourself that gift. I believe that there are people wanting to help you. I believe that there are people waiting to help you. And I had to figure that out with myself. I'm like, oh, my snap. I was like, oh, man, so many people actually want to help me. Like, okay, here, take this, take that. I'm giving it all away. Take that, take this off my plate. You can have it all. But on a serious note, yeah, there's people that want to help you. And hopefully you have people around you that truly want to help you. Hopefully you do. And number five, give yourself some energy. And I think that's very important in your life because if you don't have the right energy, I believe nothing is possible. I believe life will continue to be stressful. When I say the right energy, I'm even take it here. Some of y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but it's true. I'm even speaking to myself. I'm actually about to go on a huge fitness journey, a huge health journey. I'm about to turn 40 here soon. So I'm going on a huge health journey. Because for me, I like to be different. I like to be the guy that like defies the odds and like, oh, you're supposed to be like this when you're 40. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna show you I'm supposed to be like this when I'm 40. I'm that guy. I do love that type of challenge. I love to be in the odds. I love to do what's impossible. I don't love to be a part of status quo. Never have, never will be. So I'm going on this journey for myself. But what I realized too is that for some of us, our energy is low because of what we're around, but also because of what we are putting in our body. And for some of us, we're saying, oh, it's too hard. And I'm going to say this, and I'm probably been a little bit insensitive, so I apologize. But one thing that I can't stand, and y'all probably notice, and you probably notice from listening to me, I cannot stand a person that complains about the things they aren't willing to change, or that complains about the things they know they can change, or that complains about the things that they know need to change. Like, I cannot stand that individual. And I've been that individual before, for sure. And I couldn't stand myself at that time. But it's like, don't complain about XYZ if you're not doing XYZ. Now, if you're doing XYZ and you're giving your all to it and these things are still happening, then okay, I get it. But when somebody's trying to help you and you're refusing to help, don't complain. And that might be you right now where somebody is trying to help you. I see people so much that I know, and I'm not going to say any names, that will complain about so many things, but yet will slap the hand that's trying to help them. And then you'll see them go on social media and talk about nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to support me. Nobody wants to be there for me, but you're shutting the door on everybody that's trying to be there for you. At some point, we got to be emotionally mature and put it on ourselves. So if you want better energy in your life, Take care of your health. And I'm speaking to myself as I'm looking right in this camera. Take care of your health, because some of us, our hormones are off. That's why we feel like we feel. Go to the doctor and get a checkup. Ah, man, it's just life and I'm just getting old. It ain't always you just getting old. It's because you're not taking care of yourself, right? Some of our hormones are off. We're deficient in certain areas, vitamin D or B12 or the little things. And you're afraid, or not even afraid, but you talking about you don't have time to be able to go to the doctor to get a checkup or to be able to do X, Y, Z, but yet you want to sit and complain about how much your life is like this or like that. A doctor's visit can help. You know, a wellness doctor, whatever it may be. I'm not telling you what doctor to go to, but it can help. I found it out in my life where I was like, man, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed. And I realized I was deficient. I was literally getting whooped by Mother Nature, by the laws of life. I was getting whooped by the laws of life. And I was trying to defeat the laws of life by willpower. Hey, you got to just fight through it. You ain't fighting through deficiency. I'm gonna just tell you right now. I don't care how much willpower you have. I am a tough cookie, bro. But you ain't fighting through deficiency. You're not. If you are deficient in certain areas of your life, you are not fighting through that. You're not gonna beat, right, how your body is made up. And so that's why I'm telling you, you gotta take responsibility and ask for help. That's a part of that, asking for help. And so I asked for help. I called a friend. I said, hey, I am feeling like super like stressed. I'm feeling like my energy's low. Like, what's going on? And she said, hey, just come and get a checkup. Did my blood work, said, oh, I see why you feeling like that, bro. Look, all your levels are low. Like, how are you surviving? Like, I'm amazed that you even doing what you're doing with your levels like this. And once I start taking care of that, little shifts, little things, nothing crazy, little things, I start taking care of that and I start feeling more alive. So some of us, like, we going against, not just like our emotional health, but also our wellness. We're going against that. And so I want you to just take care of energy as a whole, holistic, what you're around, what you're putting to your body, and just be real and ask yourself, am I really giving my best to make sure that I create the right energy in my life? Like, ask yourself that question. Am I really giving my best to make sure I am creating the right energy in my life? And if your answer is no, make the damn changes. Make the changes. Make them. And put yourself in a position to win. Put yourself in a position to win. And then if everything ain't fine at that point, then you can go to the next step. But like I always tell you, it all starts with you. It all starts with you. I'm proud of you, like I am. For you to be where you're at and do what you do and still be here and still be running your marathon in the way that you're running, I'm proud of you. But take care of yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop being unfair to yourself. Put yourself in the best position to win. Give yourself a break if you need it. Cancel the plans if you need to cancel the plans. Say, I can't go. It's all right. If they got a problem with you can't go on because you need to take care of yourself, then that person or people are showing you who they need to be in your life and where they need to be in your life. They showing you how they value you if that's the case, right? You ain't missing out on nothing, but you will miss out on everything if you don't take care of you. Like I always tell you, it all starts with you. It's rehab time. Let's get it. If you got to the end of this episode, this conversation, share it with somebody. Hit me up on social media at Trent Shelton. You're watching this on YouTube. Let me know in the comments how you feel. If you listen to this on audio, get in the stories. Tag me at Trent Shelton, at Trent Shelton Podcast. Make sure you ask questions too, because I want to answer some of your questions on these podcast episodes, these conversations that we're having, because I'm here to serve you. But find somebody you can share this with. Text this to one person in your life that you know is doing a lot and doing a great job at it. But if you know a person in your life that's doing a lot of things, like how are they doing all these things? This is probably an episode that they need to hear. Maybe maybe they are really great at hiding what they're truly going through and what they're truly feeling. Do that for me. Be a hero, all right, in somebody's life, because somebody needs this message. I'll talk to you soon. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave reviews. All of those things helps me tremendously. It's free to you, but it means everything to me. I'll talk to you soon. Let's get it.